Alrighty. Testing. Okay. Shit. Okay. What's up? Welcome back to another video on the channel today. And today we have the Jag series back. Real quick, I'm going to go over the roster real quick. Hey, what's up? So the starters here, I wouldn't necessarily think that that's like the final go-to roster. So besides the receivers, that I'm not really going to mess with too much. By the way, I signed Victor Bolden in the preseason, and he did well enough to be on the team. So our three, we're really going to be using 4 quarterbacks, which I know seems a little bit, kind of iffy. But we're going to have Davidson, Peterman, Falk, and Logan Woodside as well. They only go 3 on the depth chart here for quarterbacks. But Woodside's also going to be used on goal line. Offenses, we're going to be using all of our running backs. So LaMichael Pirine, Raquel Armstead, Samaje Pirine, and Eno Benjamin are all going to get looks. It's 4-minute quarters on all Madden. I don't expect us to do that well. As you can see, players have upgrades. I will be going over that intermittently. Roberts is our best receiver. He's probably going to get rid of looks. Unless Falk is in, which he's our best passer overall. Peterman's kind of the fastest quarterback I think we have, which is kind of odd. But they all have their strengths and weaknesses, so I kind of made some lineup adjustments. So our defense is going to look pretty much the same. I mean, we have Shasharari, I don't know how to say his name. He's our cornerback number 1. We have D. Lewis Jr., Stanley Thomas Oliver, and Quentin Blanding is our fourth cornerback. Sorry, because he's our backup strong safety. He didn't quite make the starting lineup anywhere, so he's kind of just an all-around backup. He can also play linebacker too if we need him to hop over there. He's not as good at linebacker, but he can still perform decently enough. We have Smith, Turner, DeLuca, Tuska. We have Johnson, Cothran, Liner, Roberts, and Bailey on the D-line. We have Howard as our starting free safety. Reeves is his backup. And then we also have, let's see who else. Keys is also hurt. He's out for 2 weeks because he broke his thumb. We have some injuries, not really any crucial ones, because Davidson had an abdominal tear, and I cleared him for this game. So hopefully that doesn't, come back to bite us in the behind or anything, because he just got cleared, so he's probably not going to play that well. We also have Breland, who I didn't realize when I drafted him. He's actually out for the rest of the season, or pretty much until like the latter half of it anyway, the last couple weeks anyway. Then we also have Parham, who's out. That was a recent thing. He was going to be our starter, but so now we're down to, I think, our 3rd string tight end. Chris Boyd, who's also one of our better cornerbacks, he'll go to number 1. He's out for 3 weeks. Bo Pete Keys is also out for a couple, and Davidson's also coming back early. I'll probably clear Bo Pete just because we need everybody as soon as possible, but we'll also see how we do against the Colts. So, and again, this is a fantasy draft, so nobody's like really on their same team. Maybe an occasional player here and there, but it's nothing like to be expected to have every team be the same. So, all right. So this is also a divisional game, which I mean I'm not going to say I'm excited for, but it's definitely good to kind of get these out of the way now. There we go. It's good to just kind of get these out of the way now, just because I want to, see how we're going to shape up against our own division this early in the season. So it's going to be good to see kind of how we do. I know I have again 4 quarterbacks, and it's going to be a true test today. Especially because I have Stephon Gilmore. That's good to know. As to who's going to stand out. I'm not necessarily going to take one out over the other. They also have Odell. Okay, that's not good. Akeem Hicks. Shit. Eric Ebron. I think he plays for them. No, he played for them for a season, I think. But he doesn't anymore. Alright, please let us get the ball first. Alright. That'll be good. Looks like Baker Mayfield's on the Chiefs. Okay, then. Alright, let's go. Oh, he's fast. I don't remember who 87 is, but that's going to get us to the 20. Not exactly what I wanted. But more often than not, kind of expect more of a run and pound game than anything, because our quarterbacks are not really experienced. They don't really have, you know, much experience just overall. Wellman's also going to be used in the run game as well, our fullback. As you can see here, he's going to get the carry, and he's going to get about 3-4 yards on the carry, 3 yards to be exact. It's going to be good to just kind of get everybody involved, just because that's going to be the name of the game. As you can see, we've already had 2 different quarterbacks in. We've had Peterman and Falk, because we're going to hand it off to Pirine here. That's Samaje, not LaMichael Pirine, and he's going to get a gain of 9 yards. So it's good to see our run game kind of taken off early. That's kind of what I was hoping for. I'm not expecting any 1,000-yard rushers, as Falk is still in the game. We have the other Pirine now, who's going to get the handoff, and he's going to get his fair share, and that's going to be a gain of 6. I'm not, as I was saying, I'm not really going to expect any 1,000-yard rushers, as Peterman's in the game again, and Reichwell Armstead's in, and he's going to get the handoff, and that's going to be a gain of 3. As everybody's kind of doing their own thing to start off, as we are looking at a 3rd and 1. As Falk is in the game with no running backs in the backfield, as he's going to go ahead and keep the play, as he's going to go and throw it out wide to Custis, who's going to make the catch. He's going to drop it, and that's going to make it 4th and 1. That was kind of a risky throw, kind of a risky play, because running the ball had been working so much. As Colby Wadman comes out, as this looks like this could be a bad punt, as it's going to get past the 20, and they're going to return it close to the 45, it looks like, at the 41. So not exactly good for our special teams. Let's see who their starting quarterback is. Looks like it's going to be Drew Lock. That's kind of not what I was expecting. But they have a decent amount of playmakers on offense from what I can see. You have Tariq Cohen, you have Odell Beckham Jr., Eric Ebron. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be hard to contain those guys. And Drew Lock can definitely, I feel like, thrive in a system with good playmakers of the sort. As he's going to just go ahead and dump it off out wide here, and that's going to be a gain of about 8, as he found, I believe that was Christian Kirk, another player that can really kind of develop well under this system. The Colts is definitely more of a passing game, as they're going to hand it off to Tariq Cohen here, who's going to get a gain of 5. As I was saying, they're more of a passing game, so definitely seeing Drew Lock in this is definitely going to get him developed well. Tariq Cohen's very friendly towards the passing game as well, as he's going to run it again and get another gain of 5, as their running game has also been taken off early. So that's going to be the end of the first quarter. I moved it down from 7, as we saw in the live stream before. It is now down to 4-minute quarters, just because I want to get the games going quickly. I was getting my shit clapped with longer quarters, and I don't want to do that right now. So he's going to dump it off over the middle here. So that's going to be his receiver, as I believe that's Hunter Renfro, as that is a gain of about, I want to say 12. That's Adam Humphries. It'll also definitely be kind of interesting to see how teams do now with their fantasy draft, as that's going to be Tariq Cohen again, as he's really kind of been doing his thing already, as that's going to be a gain of 6.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Drew Lock's going to take the snap. He's going to fire it over to Odell, who's going to make the catch, and he's going to get down to about the 11-yard line, as Drew Lock is still yet to miss a pass, and Tariq Cohen's been clicking. This Colts team is definitely looking good. They're going to hand it off again to Tariq Cohen, who has plenty of running room here, as that's going to be a gain of about 7 on the play, as he has 4 rushes for 23 yards, already starting off well, as that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's 2nd and 3 at the 4-yard line here. The Colts offense is showing that they can definitely move the ball downfield with ease on our defense, as that's going to be dumped off to Eric Ebron, who's going to catch it, and that will be a touchdown for the Colts, as that is not looking good for our defense. Hopefully we can have our number 1 cornerback come back, and then I think Bo Pete is our number 2. So having our top 2 come back is definitely going to be good for this defense.
Makes the score Colts 7, Jaguars nothing.
And I wouldn't even say having our tight ends back is going to help, because it's really not. As we're going to get the kickoff here, as he's going to take it out yet again, and he's going to get to about the 23-yard line, 22 to be exact, as that's better than the last one. I don't know why they want me to just pass it here, but I'm not going to. So it's 1st and 10 as Falk is back in the game here, as he's going to go ahead and take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Elijah Wellman, who has a bunch of running room here, as he's going to get a 1st down with ease. And that's going to get us to the 34-yard line. Seems like they really just cannot stop our running game, as everybody's just kind of played their fair share in it. As we're going to go ahead and call a timeout here, because I didn't realize that I had shoot clock on, even though I intentionally put it on early in the game. It's 1st and 10 here. Luke Falk's in the game. He's going to go ahead and take a snap. It's going to be a pass now. He's going to go ahead and throw it on out to his receiver, Roberts, and he could not connect, as he's 0 for 2, as this is just not really looking too good for our passing game to start. Falk back in, as it looks like he's getting most of the looks out of the 4 quarterbacks that we'll be seeing today, as he's going to go ahead and try dumping it off to his running back, and that was almost picked off, as he is 0 for 3. Looking at a 3rd and 10 now, as Falk is going to be the only one in the backfield. He's going to take the snap here. He's going to go ahead and roll out to the right. He's going to go ahead and try throwing it to his tight end, and he's going to almost make the catch, and he's going to go ahead and drop the ball, making that a quick 3 and out, as Falk could not connect on a single one of his passes. Wadman with the punt here, as that looks like that's a pretty good one, as there's a flag on the play, and they're going to go ahead and get it, and only get a couple yards on the play. Let's go ahead and see what this penalty is. Alright, so it looks like it's an illegal block in the back. We're going to go ahead and accept it, and that means it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 22 for this Colts offense. Hopefully we can prevent any points from going on the board, because they will be getting the ball to start the second half. As Drew Lock's under pressure, he's going to go ahead and make the throw just in time, as that is his 1st incomplete of the day, as it is now 2nd and 10. Hopefully the Jaguars here can get a good stop and maybe potentially even get something like a field goal on the board. That way it's not completely out of hand going into the next half, as Drew Lock's going to get pressured again, and he's going to throw it away, causing for another incomplete pass. So far, the defense is showing a lot more pressure this drive than they did all of last drive, as they've pressured Drew Lock into making 2 passes already that went out of bounds. As Tariq Cohen's going to get a 1st down, and then some, as nobody could make the tackle, as that is going to be a 1st down for the Colts offense. Drew Lock in the backfield with Tariq Cohen here, as he's going to go ahead and take the snap, and he's going to go ahead and throw it over to number 86, and that's going to be wide open, as he's going to march down the field, as Stanley's going to try making the tackle there, and he can't. That was not Stanley, my bad, as that is a touchdown for Christian Kirk. And the kick is up, and the kick is good, as it is 14-0 now, as we have 37 seconds to potentially march down and put some sort of points to answer back, because this is not looking good for this Jaguars team. Going to take it out yet again, as it's not really been his thing today, as he's going to get taken down behind the 20-yard line, as he probably should have just let that go. Luke Falk out yet again, as he did not have a very impressive drive last time. Is it his 1st and 10 now at the 18-yard line? He's going to go ahead and throw it out to his receiver. That's going to be caught by Pirine. Sorry, that's Eno Benjamin on the catch for the first of the day for 5 yards.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 at the 23-yard line.
After a timeout on offense here by the Jags, it is now 2nd and 5 after Luke Falk completed his first pass of the day. As he's going to go ahead and fake the handoff here. He's going to go ahead and get sacked in the backfield, as that is a big loss, making it 3rd and long now. Now 3rd and 17 here at the 11-yard line. It is not looking too good, as we have Peterman in the game now, as they're going to go ahead and fake the handoff, and they're going to give it to Andre Roberts, and that's going to lose 2, making it 4th down, as this offense just cannot find anything going. Wadman out for the 3rd time already this game to punt, as he's going to go ahead and get the punt off, as that was not a very good one, as I believe that was deflected, and that's going to be down at the 38-yard line, and they only need 3 more yards to get into field goal position. As they're just going to go ahead and go for the field goal here, as we're going to go ahead and call a timeout, hopefully to ice their kickers. It is Jake Elliott who's their kicker, and hopefully they can provide some sort of pressure and ice the kicker here, as the kick is going to be up, and the kick will be no good, as the Jags will get the ball back at the 45 and potentially able to make a 20-yard play on the sidelines. That's kind of the hope here. And then maybe kick a field goal. Luke Falk's going to take the snap here. He's going to go ahead and throw it out to Jamal Custis, who will not make the catches. It is off of his hands, as that is just not what we want to see from our offense right now, as it is now Hail Mary territory at the end of the half, as Luke Falk stays in the game. We're going to go ahead, take the snap here. Luke Falk just has plenty of time here. He doesn't want to risk anything, so he's just going to go ahead and fumble the ball, as I told him to slide, and for some reason did not want to do that. And instead, that's just yet another turnover for this Jaguars offense. As I believe that's technically the first official turnover, but with all those 3 and outs, I mean, that definitely did not help anything. This is not going to be a good kickoff here by the Jags. As never mind, it turned out to be just fine. As Richie James Jr. is going to take the ball on out here, as he's going to get absolutely rocked at the 23-yard line. Colts offense is definitely looking like they can contend with just about anyone if they wanted to. Drew Lock potentially being their only weak point, because he's so young and inexperienced, and has shown already against a very inexperienced and rather poor defense. He's made some mistakes and gotten pressured and had to throw the ball away. No interceptions quite yet, but still, as he's going to go ahead and throw it out to his receiver here, he's going to get absolutely rocked, as I believe that's Christian Kirk, his favorite target so far, but that was still yet a gain of 7 for this Colts offense. Drew Lock's going to go ahead and find Christian Kirk yet again, who's going to find a hole, and just like that, it looks like that's going to be yet another touchdown for Christian Kirk. I believe that is his 2nd of the day, as that is a 61-yard touchdown, as this Colts offense is looking scary.
Jake Elliott on for the point after.
Jake Elliott with the kick is up, and the kick is good, as it is now looking like this is very impossible to come back, because this Jaguars offense just hasn't found anything outside of the run game. Luke Falk is definitely, he's hit his targets a couple times and they were dropped, so it's not 100% on him, as that's going to be taken out to the 23-yard line, as the Jags offense needs to find something on offense right now. Peterman in on the game now, as he's under centers. He's going to go ahead and take the snap here. He's going to hand it off to Samaje Perine, who's going to go ahead and get a gain of about 3 on the play.
Samaje Perine, the ball carrier. Rashawn Evans on the tackle.
Luke Falk is back in on the game. So we really need to kind of find something in the passing game, but they're going to hand it off to Elijah Wellman here, who's going to get a gain of 2, as I believe he's the leading rusher outside of Luke Falk with his big run to end the half.
It's a gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 5.
It's 3rd and 5 here as Luke Falk has Raekwell Armstead in the backfield as he's going to take the snap here. He's going to go ahead and throw it over the middle to Andre Roberts, who's going to make the catch for the second completion of the day, as that makes Luke Falk 2 for 7 on the day. Not that impressive, as we're going to go ahead and look at a 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line now. Peterman under center is going to go ahead and take the snap. He's going to hand it off to LaMichael Pirine here, who's going to get a gain of about 5 on the play.
Sean Lee on the tackle.
Peterman yet again back under center, as he has Raekwell Armstead behind him. He's going to take the snap. He's actually going to go ahead and just dump it off to his tight end here, who's going to make the catch, who's going to shrug a couple defenders off, and he's going to get into Colts territory, as Peterman is now 1 for 1 for 14 yards.
1st and 10 at the 45.
And just like that, Falk is back under center, as it looks like he's really kind of getting most of the starts, as LaMichael's going to get the handoff here, as that's going to be a gain of about 7 on the play. As Falk is under center here, and it looks like that'll just drain out the clock here and take us to the 4th quarter. LaMichael Pirine in the backfield right now with Luke Falk. So Luke Falk's going to go ahead and take the snap. It looks like it's going to be a screen play. They're going to dump it off to him, as that's going to be a 1st down for LaMichael. He's going to make a couple moves and get out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So that is a gain for 8 yards. As we're going to go ahead and audible to a run here with Raekwell Armstead in the backfield. We're going to go ahead and take the snap. Raekwell's going to take the snap here. He's going to go ahead and get a 1st down for us, as that's going to be a gain of 12, as that was Raekwell's 2nd touch of the day. Our run game is looking really productive right now, and that's definitely something I like to see, as Peterman's going to go ahead and come onto the field now. He's going to go ahead and take the snap, and he's going to go ahead and roll out to his left here, as he has nobody really open, so he just has to run for it, and he's going to go ahead and run out of bounds for a gain of 7 yards, as that was definitely not exactly expected. That's not something you normally see from Peterman, as being one of his stronger focal points of the game, but he definitely can do it if need be. As Luke Falk's going to take the snap here, he's going to go ahead and throw it to his running back, and that's going to be deflected by the defender, as it is now 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 as we have Peterman in the game yet again, because it seems like he's actually kind of moving the ball a little bit more when he's in the game. He's going to go ahead and tell his receiver to motion. He's going to go ahead and dump it off to his receiver, and that's going to be picked off. That is something we expect out of Nathan Peterman, as that is going to be another turnover, and that is going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts now, as that's really disappointing how we marched all the way down the field, and Nathan Peterman threw that pick. Drew Lock's going to just go ahead and hand it off to Tariq Cohen here, who's had a solid little day, averaging about 7 a carry. Only for 49 yards, though, which is not a hell of a lot, but still enough to clearly make our defense struggle a little bit. As you can see, Drew Lock's going to have an audible going on here. He's going to go ahead and hand it off to Tariq Cohen again, who's going to get a gain of 5. He's now 8 rushes for 54 yards. As that'll take us to the 2-minute warning, as it's a 3rd and 3 now for this Colts offense. Drew Lock has Tariq Cohen here in the backfield. It's been 2 consecutive runs. This is going to be yet another one, and he's going to get tackled in the backfield as he gets hurt on the play. Hopefully he's all right, but he looks like he's in a great deal of pain, as that's going to be an injury timeout for the Colts. On one hand, that does spare the Jaguars the timeout, but on the other hand, you really do kind of hope that he's doing okay and that he's not going to miss too much time. But it looks like he's probably going to be done for the rest of this game, as Roberts is going to go ahead and get the ball here, and he's going to shrug a tackle, but he's going to get tackled right after the fact. As Falk's going to go ahead and come back out again, as we've really only seen Falk and Peterman today. He's going to hand it off to Raekwell Armstead here. He's going to get to the 39-yard line It seems like Armstead's really kind of been doing solid. Definitely, hopefully he can get some more looks, for sure. Falk's going to go ahead and take a snap here. He's going to go ahead and throw it over to Jamal Custis, who's going to make the catch, his first of the day, as that's going to go right out of bounds, as Falk is now 4 for 10 on the day.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Going to go ahead and do an audible here. As we're going to go ahead and hand it off to Wellman. As he's going to make a defender miss, as that's not at all what I meant to do. As that's going to be a gain of 4. As we're going to go ahead and call a timeout, as we're looking at 1 minute and 17 seconds left on the game clock. So now we're going to go ahead and see Logan Woodside come on in. He's going to be the third out of 4 quarterbacks to come in today. As we're going to go ahead and fake the handoff here, as he's going to roll out to his right. He's going to go and throw, and that's going to be an incomplete pass as he's trying to find his tight end there.
To the sideline and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
As Falk's going to go ahead and come back in here, as that was not ideal to see from Logan, but it happens at times. As Falk's going to go ahead and throw, and that's going to also be picked off, as now him and Peterman both have interceptions on the day, as that's going to be taken back, as that looks like that's going to be a pick 6, and that's going to be yet another touchdown for this Colts team, as that is going to be Patrick Chung, as you haven't really heard that name in quite some time, but it seems like he's doing his thing now. Kick will be up, and the kick will be good, as it's going to be 28-0, and that will most definitely seal the deal, as there's not a chance before, and there's most definitely not now.
Mitch Wishnowski set to kick off.
Going to go ahead and take this back yet another time, as he's going to go ahead and get tackled down at the 17, the worst positioning we've had all day.
And they're on 17-yard line.
All right, Falk's going to go ahead and come on in here, as this game is all but over, and he's going to go ahead and just hand it off to Samaje Perine here, who's going to get a gain of about 5 on the play, as they're not really trying to stop the clock now, just kind of moving the ball when they can. He's going to go ahead and try to find his receiver, Jamal Custis, as he does, as they're actually going to go ahead and call a timeout here, as Jamal's caught two catches on 2 consecutive drives, or caught a pass on 2 consecutive drives, as he has 2 receptions for 16 yards, which is kind of ideal for our offense, is to have that consistency. As we're going to go ahead and roll out to the right here, as that's going to be considered a fumble, even though I would highly disagree, as that's going to be a flag, and that's going to be a touchdown yet again for this Colts team, as we are falling apart. However, there is a flag, so it looks like there's a face mask, and that's going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and accept that, as we're going to go ahead and get the ball back, as it looks like they might have tackled Luke Falk by the face mask here, as that became very clutch for us, as Luke Falk's going to go ahead and do the same thing he just did. He's going to go ahead and find his tight end out there, and that's going to be a first down and out of bounds, as that is the best play we've seen on offense all day. So I'm pretty sure that was our tight end, Tanner. With 21 seconds left to go, they want to at least score some points, whether that's 3, 6, whatever it can be. So we're going to go ahead and find our receiver yet again, as that's going to be Tristan Jackson, who's going to score the touchdown, our lone points of the day, as he that's also his first catch, so that is definitely good to see from him, as I definitely like seeing production out of a receiver. Hopefully we can, find more consistency there. I'm not really looking too much into developing my receivers, just because that is not my focal point right now, as we're going to go ahead and kick the extra point, and it'll be good, as that's going to make it 28-7, as that came off of an overturned touchdown that could have made it 35-0, yet the face mask penalty led to an eventual touchdown. Sam Ficken's going to go ahead and kick the ball off here, as Richie James Jr. is going to go ahead and take the ball back, and he's going to get down at the 26-yard line, as they're most likely just going to go ahead and take a knee here. and that's exactly what they're going to do. And we're not going to bother calling a timeout because there's just no way for us to come back, as that's going to go ahead and seal the deal here, as we lose our first game of the season 28-7, which is not exactly ideal, to say the least. But I mean, we did see some good points on offense, not so much on defense, just because we couldn't really stop anything. But as Blake Bortles is actually their backup quarterback going against his former team. But we definitely ran the ball better than them, which I kind of expect. I don't expect one particular running back to do the best. I just want them all to contribute, and then at the end, us as a collective team does better than the other. Because that's going to be kind of our main point. We just had to pass a bunch this game just because we were down a bunch and our scenarios weren't ideal for our scheme. Let's go ahead and take a look at some stats here, as we don't really want to look at the Colts stats. Luke Falk went 7 for 14, 103 yards. He was had 50% completion rate for a touchdown and an interception. Kind of turned around at the end there. Didn't start off too hot. We saw Nathan Peterman come in, made an absolute fantastic throw for 14 yards. And then he went off and threw an interception. So he was 1 for 2 for 14 yards with a pick. Logan Woodside came in for that one play, didn't complete it. So not the most, spectacular day from our quarterbacks, because we were subpar in terms of quarterback play, because our best rating being 68.4. If we go ahead and go over to our running game, we have Elijah Wellman, who led the team with the carries with 4 attempts with 21 yards. Then we also had LaMichael Pirine, had 3 carries for 17 yards. Ryquell Armstead also had 3 carries for 23 yards. Then we had Samaje Pirine, so both the Pirines did the exact same today. We had three attempts for 17 yards. Nathan Peterman had his run for 7 yards down towards the goal line. Roberts had a carry as well, but he did not get past the line of scrimmage. Then we had Luke Falk with the 18-yard carry after, and then right after he had fumbled. Receiving, we didn't really have anyone stand out. We had Tanner Hudson, who had 2 catches for 35 yards. Jamal Custis had 2 catches for 16 yards. Tristan Jackson getting 1 catch for 45 yards. Roberts 1 catch for 8 yards. Benjamin 1 catch for 5 yards, which is kind of his, more of his specialties, more of a receiving back, so I don't really expect him to run the ball that much. LaMichael Pirine also had a catch for 8 yards, which was definitely good to see. Defensive, nobody really stood out. Howard, our safety, led us in solo tackles, which is never good. I never want to see our safety leading in tackles. We had 1 whole tackle for loss, and that was Sterling Bailey on that run play. Nobody got an interception. Nobody fumbled the ball. So it wasn't the best. 1 for 1 on extra points. Punting, Colby Wadman, he was used too much. So apparently they're only saying he punted twice when he actually punted 3 times. Kick return, Mason Kinsey, 5 kick returns for 97 total yards. Punt returns, we had Roberts for 1 for -2. So that's really going to kind of wrap up this game. I feel like doing a double header so we can go ahead and go into the next game here. I believe our next game is going to be against the Texans, I want to say, which is, I believe they lost to the Chiefs. So we're both going to kind of look for that our first victory in the season. I don't know their team that well, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that in here in a second. Alrighty, so we have players with upgrades now. We actually have a bunch, so we can go ahead and go through and do that. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and start with Jamal Custis, who had 2 catches for 16 yards. Nothing too spectacular. I don't expect much out of our receivers. I definitely prefer a guy who is reliable with catching. So definitely it looks like the only one that improves catching really is slot, which is what he plays for us. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that. He's going to go from a 63 overall to a 64 overall. So you got one catch in traffic, 2 towards medium route and 2 towards short route, which is kind of exactly what I needed from him. Tristan Jackson, who had that 1 catch for the touchdown, really nice to see that. That's definitely not what he looks like, but I mean, he was kind of the deep threat in the last one, so that was kind of good to see. But I'd rather see a route runner. So he's also going to go to a 64 overall, as that's going to be 1 catch in traffic, 2 catching, 1 medium route, and 1 short route. So that's definitely good to see that as well. I don't know Chachere, who I think is normally our like 3rd cornerback. I think because he started last game. Definitely if he's playing our number 1, I want to see that man-to-man go up. So he's going to go to a 63 overall, which is good to see. He has 3-man coverage upgraded. That is definitely what I like to see. Colby Wadman, definitely accurate. I want to see good placement on punts. So I don't want to see, too many, it goes far, but it's like right down the middle of the field, or, if we need to pin him in the 5-yard line-ish. So let's go to Tanner Hudson, who is solid for us. I definitely like possession. So definitely want to see that upgraded. I'm not going to go over the stats because we just have a bunch here. So Sterling Bailey, who's our left end, who got a tackle for loss last time. Definitely want to see a run stopper because we couldn't really stop the run at all last time. So definitely there. Tiggy Sanko, definitely hybrid or zone. I want to see that hybrid action just because seeing him be able to play more than just zone is definitely going to be good as he goes up by an overall, which is definitely what I like to see. Tuska's up next, and then we're going to go ahead and go run stopper. Just any defensive player that's a linebacker or a D-line, we've got to get that run block stops. Quinn Blanding, don't know why he's getting an upgrade, but we can go hybrid on this one. Because that Jamal Adams type safety is really kind of ideal for this kind of defense right now. We're going to go ahead, run stopper. That's exactly what I like to see. He goes up by an overall. Let's see. We don't really have that many players left. We have a decent amount, but not a huge amount. So DeLuca, we're just going to go ahead and go run stopper. Alright. And then we're going to go ahead and go Chris Landrum. Got to go run stopper. Just that's kind of what we need to do right now is just work on that run stop ability. AJ Howard, our starting safety, he kind of just did his thing. Run support for sure is what I need to see out of him. He was definitely solid on defense last time. Jeremy Reeves, definitely got to get that run support going. It's good seeing all of our players go up in overall right now. Manuel Smith, definitely run stopper. Okay, +4 in play recognition. That's going to be huge. Pass coverage, field general, run stopper. I mean, pass coverage, to have our second linebacker be good at pass coverage. I don't know why he looks like that. That's not at all what he looks like. Bijan Jackson, definitely need that run stopping ability. It's just going to be good to see that for sure. Ben Braden, we need that. Well, agile is going to be good for both, so let's go agile for sure. Alright. Dino Boyd, definitely got to be agile. Good to see our offensive line kind of getting upgraded too, because they definitely were slacking a little bit. We don't need scrambler, improviser run, throw under pressure, and deep accuracy. We don't necessarily need that from him. I just need more of a field general from him. So let's see. We got throw accuracy, mid, and short accuracy. Yes, because that's definitely something he struggles with, is accuracy. Same with Luke Falk. They both kind of struggle with accuracy. But I need more of a strong arm out of Luke Falk, just because that's what I use him for. So throw accuracy, mid. I think that puts him at 80 now for throw mid. 71. Sorry, I was thinking kind of 79 for the short. So Brandon Green's up next. We're gonna go ahead and go agile, and that's gonna make him a 51 overall. And then our center, who's a 49 overall. This is definitely gonna be good. Seeing this, we're gonna go ahead and go agile. And then we're gonna go ahead and that's going to finish up that. So let's go ahead and see our next game, which is against the Titans, not the Texans, which is almost kind of worse because we play Derrick Henry. So let's go ahead and sim up to that game, and then we're going to go ahead and see about getting our first win. So returning from injury is going to be, I think, Davidson, yeah. Davidson. So let's go ahead and just get right into this game. I kind of want to I wish they had a white helmet, because that would look really sick with their all white uniforms, which is what I want to use. No. Yeah. And then let's go ahead and we can go ahead and use their current helmet. I kind of want to spice up uniforms, you know, that way it's not just, you know, one particular uniform always. But we're playing the Titans, which has Derrick Henry. Oh, they don't have Derrick Henry. Okay. So, because I forgot this is it's a fantasy draft. They have DeAndre Hopkins and Christian McCaffrey. So, kind of, you know, almost the same. They have Julian Edelman too. We have Tristan Jackson, who actually has 4 yards on 1 catch, and he does in 4. But again, we're not a passing team. That's not what I want my identity to be at all. Let's go ahead and skip the cutscenes here. I don't want my identity to be in the passing game. Do we get the ball? We do. Just because I really feel like we're I just feel like we have a lot of running backs, good talent in the running game. As we're going to get to the 21, as that's Kinsey, starting off better than he did last game, as we're going to go ahead and start off with the ball at the 21-yard line. Alright, so to start, we have Luke Falk out on the field here, as we definitely want to kind of capitalize on that run game. As we're going to go ahead and start off by handing off to Wellman here, who's going to get a gain of 2. Not the most ever, but definitely not the worst, as they're definitely sniffing out a run here, as Peterman's going to go ahead and fake the handoff here. He's going to go ahead and throw it to his receiver here, as that's going to be a loss of a yard. That was very risky. I didn't know Callahan was going to hug Roberts quite that much, as it's 3rd and 9 already, as it looks like we kind of have to pass yet again, as that's not exactly what I was going for. But Luke Falk's going to go ahead and stick in the pocket. He's going to throw to his receiver, and that's going to be deflected. And this is looking awfully a lot like it did our last game. Just because now we're going to go ahead and see what McCaffrey's got to offer, which is not exactly something I ever really want to see, especially with a defense like this. As McCaffrey's going to go ahead and return their punts too, which doesn't necessarily make sense, but they're going to get to the 49-yard line, so they're already in our territory, which, I mean, again, not something I want to see. Is Ben Roethlisberger's their starting quarterback, so now that he's not in Pittsburgh, I definitely see them moving on from him a lot quicker than if they were to back in Pittsburgh. So Roethlisberger's first pass is going to be incomplete, as I think he was intending to throw it to McCaffrey. As it's now 2nd and 10 here, as I wonder what their passing game is going to look like with Roethlisberger. He's going to go ahead and be under pressure here. He's going to go ahead and get the throw off in time, which it looks awfully a lot like the fumble they called against Luke Falk. But Instead, it's just going to be an incomplete pass as it's 3rd and 10 here, as Roethlisberger is going to go ahead and try to find Julian Edelman, and he does, and that looks like that's going to be a touchdown for the Titans, as that is not really a good look for us whatsoever. So it looks like, I mean, they have looks like their best receiver, or their number 1 receiver anyway, not necessarily their best, because I would argue that Hopkins is far better. And will always be better than Julian Edelman. Looks like both Roethlisberger and Edelman might be leaving soon, just because of their age, and just depending on how much they produce, as they're going to get to the 20-yard line. Kinsey looks like he just doesn't quite get the job done in the return game. So let's go ahead and take the ball over again, as we're down 7-0 yet again. As Luke Falk's going to take the snap here. He's going to go ahead and hand it off to Reichwell. He's going to get tripped up, as you can tell that he's not too happy with that, as it's going to come back even further on a holding call, which definitely is not something we ever really want to see. It's now 1st and 20 at the 10-yard line. So Luke Falk's going to go ahead and take the snap here, and he's going to go ahead, and I thought he was going to hand it off here, as he's going to go ahead and get sacked, as that was not exactly something they normally do. That normally would be a handoff, but it wasn't this time. So 2nd and 21 now, as we're going to go ahead and take the snap here, as Falk's going to go ahead and try to find Jamal Custis, and he does not, as Custis drops the ball. 3rd and 21 at the 8-yard line, as this is just not looking good, as our offense is already struggling. And we're going to go ahead and dump it off to Pirine here, as he's going to go ahead and not quite shrug the tackle, but that's still a gain of 9 yards, they're saying. That was 10, as that's going to go ahead and be a 4th and 12, as Colby already is having a 2nd punt in this 1st quarter. As that looks more of like a booming kick rather than one that goes very far, as McCaffrey's going to shrug off that tackle, as they're already in our territory, which is not something we really want to see. Alright, Ben Roethlisberger is under center here, so they're going to have someone in motion, as this definitely looks like it's going to be a run play, as that's exactly what it's going to be, as that's going to get sniffed out, and that's going to be a 2-yard gain for Christian McCaffrey, who had a 100-yard rushing game last week. Definitely something that this team's going to be using a lot. The Titans offense definitely relies heavy on running as well, as that's going to be Hopkins, as that's going to be caught and taken to the 36-yard line, so it's now 3rd and 1, as I have a strong feeling that they're going to run it here, especially with McCaffrey and the fact that it's just so close, as that's exactly what they're going to do, and I'm going to get in the backfield, and that's going to be a tackle for a loss. That's exactly what I like to see, as that's going to take us to the end of the 1st quarter. And just like that, it's the 39-yard line, so it's going to be a longer field goal. They have McLaughlin as their kicker. I don't know too much about him, so it'll definitely be interesting to see if he can hit these, and that's going to also probably be a good test for Tennessee to see if he can hit it from out here. It's going to be kicked wide to the left, as that did not stand a chance whatsoever. So that's going to be the first stand that we've had in quite some time. I think we had only one all of last game where they missed a field goal. So that's the 2nd time we've done it, as I'm definitely happy to see that. So Reichwell Armstead's in the backfield here, so we're going to go ahead and take the snap. We're going to hand it off to him, and that's going to be brought back to the line of scrimmage. It is now 2nd and 10. We're going to audible to a run here, as that looks like it's a screen that they would easily play out here. And LaMichael Pirine is going to only get a gain of 2, as it really seems like their defense is understanding that we're going to run it a lot, and they're definitely playing towards that. As Falk's going to take the snap here, he's going to go ahead and dump it off to Reichwell Armstead here, and he's going to make a move, and that's going to be close to a 1st down, and I think they're going to give it to us, as it's going to be 1st and 10, and that'll be our sorry, can't speak. Now we will be in their territory for our first set of plays. So Peterman's going to go ahead and come into the game here. He's going to go ahead and hand it off to LaMichael Pirine, as that's going to be a gain of 2, as our running game really, again, has not been kicking off too hot. So hopefully we can kind of turn that around, as we're going to see about getting one last play off before the 2-minute warning, and we do just that, as it's going to be Elijah Wellman, the big boy, and he's going to get tackled, and I don't think he got more than a yard. All right, it's going to be 3rd and 7 now at the 40-yard line, as this is kind of a long way to go, as we're going to go ahead and dump it off to our tight end, who is wide open, and Luke Falk could not make the connection there, as we really needed that, as it is now going to be 4th and 7, as it looks like we're going to have to punt the ball away after making such a fantastic effort on defense. This is just something that we don't need to see right now. Colby Wadman with another punt, as that's going to go ahead and go, and that's going to get down at the 1-yard line, as that took an incredible bounce. I thought for sure that was going to go to the back of the end zone, and it just stops right there, and that's going to be down at the 1-yard line. So definitely going to probably be seeing some running attempts here from Christian, as that's exactly what we're going to see. He's going to get a gain of 7 yards, and I don't understand how he's able to just shift through us like that sometimes, but you know, that is life, as it is now 2nd and 3 here. Roethlisberger has McCaffrey in the backfield, as he's going to go ahead and dump it off to his tight end here, and that's going to be caught, and that's going to be a gain of 12 yards on the play. So that's going to be yet another timeout by the Titans offense. By yet another, I mean the first one. I thought they already called a timeout. And this is going to go ahead and be caught by the receiver, as I believe that's Gabriel. But I'm not too sure, as that's going to be a first down, if not close to it, 2nd and inches, as that is Taylor Gabriel, just as I thought. And that's going to be not handoff, but they're going to dump it off to Christian McCaffrey, and they're going to get to the 33-yard line. As this offense isn't really, I would say this offense is kind of a step down from the other offense that we played. The Colts offense is, DeAndre Hopkins here is going to fumble the ball, and that's a very unusual sight for sure, and that's going to be a turnover caused by our defense. And I think they're more than likely going to try and review that, and they're going to do just that, and we'll see how we're going to see how that works out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay here. As his knee's down, and then the ball comes out, so that'll most definitely come back, as the ball is in his possession, his knee touches, and then it comes out. So that is definitely going to be coming back. So that's exactly what happens. It gets turned over, or it gets overturned, and then it's going to now be a first down for Tennessee. I believe there's only about 12 seconds left on the clock, so they're definitely going to be more pass-oriented here. As Roethlisberger is going to take the snap here, and he's not even going to attempt to fake the handoff, as they're running 4 verts, which is kind of an interesting call. As we're going to go ahead and get it off to 86 here, and that's going to run out the clock, as it's 7-0 going into halftime. Definitely looking a lot better on our defensive end, even though we just gave up that huge play. But overall, it's looking better for us. I definitely like seeing our defense be better about that kind of stuff. We're going to go ahead and kick the ball off here, as they're going to go ahead and get the ball, and they're going to take it out, and he's going to shrug off a couple tacklers, as I believe that's D.D. Westbrook, as now nobody's going to be able to catch up to him except for 21, which I believe that's Stanley Thomas Oliver, as that's going to get taken down to the 12-yard line, as that is not something he's been playing. As we're going to hand it off, Christian McCaffrey is going to get absolutely smacked, and we've definitely been containing him, as it is now 2nd and 8.
At the 10-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
They're going to take the snap here, and they're going to try finding someone over the middle here, and they're going to find DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to shrug off a tackler, and that's going to be a gain of about 6 on the plays. It's now 3rd and 1. As Roethlisberger is looking pretty solid here. I mean, I don't know if he played like that in his last game or what, but he's definitely looking pretty solid. They're just going to try finding the receiver, Hopkins, even though he had McCaffrey wide open for a touchdown. He threw quite a questionable call there. As they're going to go for it on 4th and 1 now, and they're going to try handing it off to McCaffrey, and they're not going to get it, as that is yet another stuff by our defense, and that's exactly what I like to see. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and run a goal line formation here, which means we're going to go ahead and see Woodside, except we're going to just go ahead and hand it off to Samaje Perine. Perine gets the handoff here, and he's going to get tackled at the 2-yard line, as that's a loss of 3 yards. That's not something we need to see right now. Woodside's going to take the snap here. He's going to have to throw it away here, as that's going to be an incomplete pass, as that's going to be also intentional grounding on Woodside. So for some reason they're going to call that a safety, even though that would be half the distance to the goal. But okay, so that's going to be 2 points for the Titans now, as D.D. Westbrook's going to go ahead and get the ball again, as he's going to get tackled this time at the 37-yard line. Sometimes I don't understand this game. I don't think that would be a safety. That I'm pretty sure that would just be 3rd and whatever at the 1-yard line. But guess we'll never know, as we're going to go ahead and hand it off to McCaffrey here. He's going to go ahead and get a gain of about 9 on the play. So that is his longest run of the day. We got Doran on the play now, so we're going to go ahead and fake the handoff here, and they're going to go ahead and try throwing it to Edelman, who's going to not make the catch, as that was a good defensive presence by our safety there, even though he really didn't do much besides just be in the right area. It's 3rd and 2 now. Roethlisberger has McCaffrey in the backfield, and they're going to hand it off to him, and he's going to get the first down and then some, as this is definitely his longest run of the day, and he's going to run out of bounds, and then he's going to get out at the 23-yard line, as now he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit, which is a little bit scary.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Christian McCaffrey here, who's going to make a cut on the inside, and that's going to be a gain of about 9. As here we go, Christian McCaffrey is starting to pick up the pace.
Taken down at the 14-yard line. A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1 now. They're going to go ahead and toss it out to Christian McCaffrey, who's going to get around the edge here. He's going to make a couple moves, and that's going to get down to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Titans now. And that's going to most likely, this play will likely take us to the 4th quarter here, and they're not going to even bother hiking the ball off, as it is now going to be the 4th quarter. We're down 9-0. They're right there to score. McCaffrey's back in. This is not looking too good for us. We've not been capitalizing much on offense. As we're going to go ahead and hand it off to McCaffrey. That's going to be yet again stuffed in the backfield for a loss, as that's his 2nd tackle for a loss, which is definitely something I like seeing from our linebackers, being very profound in the run game and stopping it. So we're going to go ahead and have an audible here, as they're going to hand it off to Taylor Gabriel, who's going to make a little fancy move there, and that's going to be a rush for 2 yards, as it is now 3rd and goal. As it very much clearly is a pass here, as Roethlisberger is going to go ahead and try finding Hopkins, and he does just that, who's going to go running backwards, and that's going to be a timeout for Jacksonville. Now it's going to be 4th and goal now, as they're just going to go ahead and attempt the field goal here, which is definitely smart on their end, I would have to say myself, as the kick will be up, and the kick will be good, as it is now 12-0, as it is still a possibility for us to come back, but we have to make every play count. We can't screw around. We have to just march down the field, score a touchdown, as Kinsley's just going to let this go, as we will now start at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Luke Falk in the game, as it looks like he gets more often than not the majority of our snaps at QB. He's going to go ahead and throw it over to Tristan. That's going to get intercepted, as that's not what you like to see whatsoever. So that's going to be a flag as a face mask is called on Tristan Jackson. And they really don't like seeing that. That's a turnover by our team there, as we, just as I was saying, we need to capitalize on every play. We couldn't, so it looks like Titans are going to take over here, as we're just going to go ahead and dump it off to Taylor Gabriel, who's going to get tackled, and that's going to be a gain of about 7-ish yards. And it is now 2nd and 3, as that'll take us to the 2-minute warning more likely than not, as they will not hike the ball, and in fact it will be on the 2-minute warning and 2nd and 3. Alright, that's going to be a tackle for a loss yet again, as it's now 3rd and 6, as, I mean, potentially we could get yet another stop here and then potentially go down and score, and then we'd have to get an onside kick, score again. So it's not looking too hot for us, as Christian McCaffrey will get a first down, and just like that, the game will be over, as it is now 1st and goal, as that was Tuska on the tackle, but he tackled just a half a second too late, allowing for a touchdown. 1st and goal now. They're going to go ahead and just run out the clock here, as Christian McCaffrey is going to get tackled for a gain of 3 yards, and we're not going to bother calling timeouts. We understand that the game is over and that we have lost the game, as that'll do it, as we have lost our 2nd week in a row. Starting 0-2 is not exactly, the best thing ever, but I also understand that, there's only so much we can do. Our defense definitely stepped up. I mean, we lost 12-0 rather than 28-7. So, although we didn't score, I mean, it's still better that, we didn't. I mean, we allowed less points anyway. Our offense was very piss poor. I mean, we had a total of 18 yards, which is just not good at all. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here. Yet another week where we didn't see any Davidson. So let's go ahead and take a look at our quarterbacks here. Nathan Peterman was 1 for 1 for -1 yards. Luke Falk had another kind of bad day. He was 2 for 6 for 17 yards and an interception that really kind of crushed us there at the end. Running the game, nobody stepped up. LaMichael Pirine had 2 carries for 4 yards. Wellman had 2 for 3 yards. And then Pirine had a -3-yard run. Roberts had 1 catch for -1 yards. Armstead had 1 catch for 8 yards. And Pirine had 1 for 9. So Pirine technically had a positive day in terms of total yards, but it was only 6 total yards, which is not that good. Defensively, Emmanuel Smith definitely stepped up his game, which is something I really like to see. Stanley Thomas Oliver should not be this high when it comes to tackles, and A.J. Howard yet again finds himself this high on the list. Hopefully that can, turn around. Sanko also has 3 total tackles. And so, I mean, just not exactly something I really want to see. But defensively, I mean, we were better. That's good. Kevin Davidson, there we go. But we lost, so that's going to wrap it up for this one. Hopefully I can catch you in the next one.